Greetings, YouTube. If you click on this video and it is not Wednesday, July 15th, you may not know that the reason why I recorded this video when I did was because of the couple times a year awesome A-plus deal Mastery Booster Pack, which has returned to the contest. This is one of the first deals traditionally that Kabam brings back after the July 3rd weekend sales, since it's, used to be July 4th for 24 hours. And so because of this, you really have the number one question, which I teased in that review video, and then enough of you have reached out to me like, Prof, yes, it really would be nice if you made a video on this, talking about, okay, so I bought the Mastery Booster Pack. I have 3 more Carb cores and 4 Stony Mastery cores. What Masteries should I awaken? Well, it's funny you asked that, because that's why you clicked on this video. I'm guessing. I'm hoping. Now, I'm going to talk about my own personal experience with Masteries and which ones I value the most. If you are someone who is eventually, whether that be today or next month, looking to go the Suicide Mastery tree, I really encourage you, if you are in an alliance that values Alliance War, to let your alliance know that that is what you are thinking. A couple things will happen. I've seen this from experience. One, they'll be like, oh, thanks for letting us know. That's fine. Another will be, we would like you to make sure that when war is started, you are not using your Suicide Masteries, because we don't want your defenders to have recoil damage. So only when the war is over, in between placement phase and when it starts, do we want you to do that, which of course is an expensive ask, because then you have to reset your Masteries and save your units for just kind of cycling back and forth. Or the horror story, which I have heard only a couple times, if you ever make the mistake of going into Alliance War and not forgetting to reset your Suicide Masteries, you're being kicked. Now, hopefully that's not you. I want to say that this is still one of my favorite Masteries, Deep Wounds. I moved it was a long time, it was maxed out 5 out of 5. I moved it to 4 out of 5, and I'll explain why in a second. And that freed up that extra mastery point for something that now has become my favorite mastery setup. And I haven't noticed a big difference. But Deep Wounds, I think minimum you want it 3 out of 5. Just so many great champions cause bleed that you want to be able to stack those bleeds longer. Now, Assassin is at 2 out of 5. And I trust Miss Katie Candy, my Battle Realm bestie, that said, Prof, keep yours at 2 out of 5. Everything else doesn't justify the cost. Now, I wish that I had had a video like this to watch, because I have at one point taken Assassin up to max and wish that I could have had those Mastery cores back. In fact, same with Deep Wounds, and even, because I don't use Void much, Despair. I've maxed this thing out. Didn't need to. Now, one of the masteries that I have maxed out and have never regretted it, and is at the top of the list if you haven't, is Glass Cannon. When you become a fighter that eventually his goal is to never get hit, you're not going to notice the health decrease of your champions. You just won't. But you will notice that increase of attack. Glass Cannon is also a great way to increase the overall rating of your champion's PI. And you do this without sacrificing the true Suicide Mastery mentality, and that is everything to the right of recoil, because you do sacrifice that 5% health per activation of the Special 1 and the Special 2. So, I would never encourage you to take recoil past 1 out of 3, but that is indeed the case. If you're looking to not fool around with any part of the right side of the tree, you really want to make precision and especially cruelty maxed as quickly as possible. If you don't have this down, if you're one of those people who, like me when I started, was throwing more than 1 point into strength or greater strength, or now courage is something that some of you may say, Prof, I still think people should max it. And I understand that argument. But I have the stupidity, or the courage, depending on how you look at it, to put those points elsewhere. If I wasn't running Suicides, I probably would max courage. But I'm willing to take that risk. Defense is something that is evolving every year in my mastery. Now, I took some points both away from courage and away from deep wounds max to make sure that coagulate and willpower were maxed. This has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in the game. And I strongly recommend that if you are running suicides, you at least max willpower and put 1 point in coagulate. But if you can justify it, it's going to be worth the cores to do more than just that and to max both of them. Now, on defense, in order to activate your chance for willpower, you have to have quite a few points in the defensive mastery tree. I wish that wasn't the case, but because you do, I have used my setup to maximize the PI of my champions. This is why people are always like, Prof, why are your champions, how are they rated so high? I have suicide masteries, and mine aren't rated as high. Well, you probably don't have 2 points in stand your ground, which gives you a good amount of PI. Just 1 in perfect block. I have maxed out block proficiency because I believe if you've got to put the points somewhere, you might as well put them in block proficiency. But for the defensive tree, besides willpower, salve and recovery are my personal favorite. Salve is something that a lot of you have told me you don't really think is that important, especially if you're not running 2 stars, because the recovery of 4 health per second is not a big difference to have an extra health take. I think, hey, the more health, the better, even if it's just 1 or 2 more. But that is something that if you don't care about willpower, you maybe should just keep salve at 1 or 2, but definitely max out recovery. Now, proficiency is the most important aspect of the beginner mastery tree. When I get asked, Prof, I just discovered your channel, I've been playing the game for a month, what are the first masteries I should invest in? It's no question parry and dexterity. 1 point in each, that's all you'll need. And believe it or not, I think the only mastery worth maxing in this is Stupefy. And I have not regretted keeping that where it's been, even though I thought I would eventually want to return parry to max. I don't. Now, if I didn't have suicide masteries and I had those extra mastery points, yeah, I'd max parry, sure. I will say that when I ran my Abyss completion run, I decided to do something quite bold and on paper quite stupid, and that was have 0 points in defense. And I was stunned by how little I missed the defensive tree. But at the same time, I knew I was going to die a lot, and so I didn't care about losing more health at the beginning by turning off willpower, for example. I just wanted to max attack. But now that I'm done with that completion run, even though I know I've still got other paths at the time of recording this to work on for the Abyss, it's important to me to have more of a balanced overall mastery. So if you haven't had at least 1 point in parry and dexterity, do that first. Maximize Stupefy before any of the others in the proficiency/utilities for those OGs. Remember, that's what it used to be called. Tree. If you're running suicides, highly recommend you open up enough points for willpower, and then the coagulate will make a difference. When I maxed it, I was shocked to see how much less bleed damage somebody, especially like Blade, took at the start of the fight when that mastery kicks in, the suicide mastery kicks in. And then I swear by this setup. I really do. 4 out of 5 in deep wounds, 2 out of 5 in assassin. Max those suicides in the top right. Keep precision at 4 out of 5. Did not notice a difference at all between 5 out of 5 and 4 out of 5. And then also, for sure, max cruelty. My goal is to keep this in under 10 minutes. We are at that point, so let's end this video here. These are the best masteries for your cores that I have learned in my time. Just one man's opinion. You could rightfully disagree, and that is A-okay. But whatever you think is best, please make sure you comment, because this is also one of those things that people who don't know maybe can use your feedback in the comment section to help their rank ups as well. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a great day.